welcome back to the channel. We are full board soybean harvest here today. They're running good, sun shining, wind blowing, they're drying out, yields coming up, moisture's doing good. We're having a good day. Hope everybody's enjoying the fall weather where you're at. Looks like we're out of the hot days. Pretty nice, comfortable days here. So several nice harvest days coming up here. Just wanted to spend a little bit on this video about where we're located at and maybe a little bit on our type of farming. So we are in Perry County, Indiana, which is far south Indiana as you can go, right in the middle of the state. We're about halfway between Evansville, Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky. I'm about, I don't know, 15 miles north of the Ohio River right here where I'm sitting, but we do farm down on the Ohio River also. So we are the hilliest country with the hilliest county in the state of Indiana. So a lot of rolling hills, which leads us to a lot of no-till farming. Hope you guys get to see that next spring. And we'll do a lot of cover crops this fall. We try to keep a growing crop on this ground at all time. Do the best we can to prevent any type of soil erosion. Especially this soybean stubble, there's no residue on this ground right now, so, or very minimal residue. So we'll get a cover crop such as wheat spread out here this fall, and try to preserve our soil. So our county is about 19,000 population. Our biggest city is Tell City, and that's 7,000 population there. So once you get out in the county, we're not very populated. I think our county's right around 240,000 acres. Hoosier National Forest takes up 60,000 acres of that. So 1/4 of our county is Hoosier National Forest, and that's not counting private woods. So I don't have numbers offhand, but I want to say over half of our county is wooded. So you're going to hear me talking a lot about 10-12 acre fields. I've got 82 landowners I rent from to cover the ground I got to cover. So we do not have no large 100, 200 acre fields. I do have one 80 acre field. That's the biggest field we've got. But like I said, you're going to hear me talk a lot about small acreage fields, a lot of road moving. That's where the risk of agriculture comes from, is being out on the highway with this bigger equipment. With the public, you know, in motor vehicles, not aware of what they're being around or what they're working with. So that's just what I wanted to get on here. I'll kind of our demographic of kind of where I'm located and how we're farming. So we'll get the drone up in the air and kind of show you this farm we're on. It's a pretty rolling farm. The combine's having to work a little bit. So this soybean head is a flex head. So this cutter bar where it's cutting the ground is flexible. So it can flex quite a bit actually. And then the head on the combine tilts back and forth, and there's sensors under this head doing all that automatically. So a little bit slower ground speed just to give that head time to work and flex and shave this ground and get all these beans I can. So let's get you out on the combine and get some footage of this machine working. Well, now this video is going to take a little bit of a different twist than what I had planned. So I've been fighting 3 different sensors the last 2 days, throwing up different codes, and I get out and proof check them, and everything's working like it's supposed to. So we've got 3 new sensors laid out at the dealership. We're going to wait till tomorrow morning to go pick up. It's just a pain in the butt. The codes keep popping up, but the combine's working like it's supposed to. So their electronics can be a pain in the butt. Just now I had another code go off that my clean grain elevator, which takes the clean grain up to the tank. 0 speed on the elevator. Jumped out, looked at it. This sensor is correct, 0 speed. Smoked the belt. Farther investigation, there's a gearbox right up here in the grain tank. Totally shot. So we're going to spend the rest of the evening getting this gearbox out, getting it tore apart, see what kind of parts we need. I don't know if we'll get parts ordered or find parts yet today, but we'll know where to go to first thing in the morning. But John's back here now. He's already jumped up there. He's come from the other field and proofing what I found out. So didn't take him long to figure out what's going on. So I guess we're gonna pull gearbox out. Gearbox bad?
It's bad.
That's what I kind of thought. That shaft's already come out of there. You got a part there for it too?
Yeah, I got parts for it.
I didn't know. Okay. I guess the most aggravating part of this, you just pay a certified Deere mechanic to inspect this combine 140 acres, 150 acres ago. This gearbox ought to have held up. I mean, if it goes out to 150 acres, he should have found that, shouldn't he?
Should have, yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. So, our job to get out of there.
Got all the tools.
If we had all the tools. You want me to undo the belt while you're up here working? You gotta take a hinge off too?
Tell him to throw me a 13 wrench up.
He's on the phone. Bug. The bolts are all fat.
Smells like burnt belt.
I told you the belt was smoking. What are we after here?
There's a gearbox down in this hole.
Well, it's got a little play in it, don't it?
I know. It's like a U-joints went out.
Huh.
I need that shield right there you're standing on.
Right down there?
No, this one right here.
Oh. Hang on. About to lose my
Yeah,
belt.
those beans are a little rolling. They'll stay there.
Is that gonna whack you in the back of the head?
Might. You know, it's much easier to do when it was all clean.
Well, I tried to clean part of it out. How much of that you gotta take apart now? Do I need to go down and undo a belt then?
Yeah.
Which one?
Clean grain belt.
Is there 2 of them?
One that you in the back of the clean grain.
Okay.
Spring.
You got spares sitting on the shelf we can just put in there?
Oh, ain't that nasty.
Looks like burnt oil.
Got a spare? Been running half hour.
Sounds a little rough.
Oh, is your fish down there for you?
No. Just turn around back down. I guess we'll take that to the shop and take it apart now.
Yep.
A little more shade.
Better workbench.
I actually know adding, or it's adding, but would it take you 20 minutes, 15 minutes to get that out?
Well,
So,
15, yeah.
it really ain't that hard to get out of there. It's just the idea of it, so, I guess.
Plus long to rebuild. Oh, yeah, gear case in?
Not yet.
Good, I need clean. Here's your light supposed to go on your head. Down. Don't throw them away or not?
I said, don't throw them away. Jeff said they're junk, and I said, keep them. I might just brought them up here today. Just set this on the workbench. Go drain the oil out of it.
Don't wait to drain the oil out of it.
So this is the gearbox we're taking out. Typically, you would change the oil in a gearbox
Most years, every year.
every year.
Yep.
So this is the way it would sit in there. And here's where you fill it and check it. But John Deere never put a drain plug in this gearbox. I guess they want you to pull it out every year and drain the oil out of it some way. So no way to drain the oil in a gearbox. So maybe that's why they go bad all the time. I don't know. Tell you what, that looks like half gun grease or sandy oil, I guess you'd call it. I guess with the seal went out, it'll let all the bean dust and dirt in there. Surprised there ain't beans dumping out of it.
That's bean oil in there.
That's bean oil?
That's made its own oil.
Hey, it stinks like gear oil, I'll promise you, if this thing had smell-o-vision.
Burnt gear lead.
But John Deere's been running this same model gearbox in pretty much every combine for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
So bigger combines, more horsepower, more bushels per hour, the same gearbox. So I don't know, you know, you'd think they would beef up some of their gearboxes. Kind of makes you wonder why kind of year we've had, why we even run John Deere stuff. I don't know.
Need a little extra grit.
Look at that mud.
Metal shavings.
There's just not to it. Those two gears are supposed to just line up on each other about right there. Yeah.
One gear just fall out. Bearings.
Piece of bearing. All right, guys, it's 4 o'clock in the evening. We're kind of on the clock here. So the dealership, we've got parts laid out already. Those 3 sensors I was telling you, I think close at 5:30. So if we can get this thing tore apart in the next hour and 20 minutes and figure out what parts we need, call them and hope they've got the parts. We can get them laid out and make a road trip yet tonight. Get this rebuilt yet tonight and possibly put back in the combine tonight. If not, first thing in the morning, and we'll be rolling by the time the dew's off if we can get parts rounded up.
Did that not come off?
It didn't fall off. Take a hammer and whack that through now. What's this other stainless plate on there for? Oh, just for wear?
Right,
yeah.
They did think of something.
They did think of something, didn't they?
You'll see why this is my most favorite tool to use.
I guess you have to take that bottom gear apart too and rebuild it. As dirty as it is. Get the cats fired up. That piece looks good, Jed.
Hey, bud. I don't think I want to spill that.
I would think right there, that'll come off there with the bearings out of there. There's even dirt and beans packed in the bearings.
That's a nasty junk. Well, I'm not sure how that gear is held in there.
Too thick to run out, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, we got all taken apart. The 2 gears are good. We think that case is good. The gear, we don't know if that's a factory cut or if the gear's cut in there, but something has been rubbing on it. But need 2 new shafts, all new bearings, all new seals. Well, we got 5 or 6 dealerships in the next hour and a half. None of them have the parts. So the Jasper store has a whole new gear case, so that's where we're headed to. Pick up a whole new gear case, get that thing put in, and see what we can get going. Morning, everybody. We did get the new gearbox last night. $1,600 for this thing here. When John worked at the dealership, they used to rebuild these. Now we're finding out Deere's selling these new ones, brought the price down on them. Labor's went up since he's worked there. These are pretty much throwaway gearboxes now. So I did do some homework. The two shafts we need, the bearings, the seals, the parts we need to rebuild our old one was about $510. This cover I was showing you, or this main part of this gearbox, where the gears shoot into it, if we would have replaced that, that was $1,000 piece. So there you're at $1,500 on a few pieces. So you throw in $130 labor for certified John Deere mechanic, you throw the old one away and put the new one in. So we did have to rob the wear plate off the old one. There's a lot of grain wear right here, so get this one bolt on our new one and get to the combine and throw this thing in. How come it's got to be all the way at the top?
That's where everything breaks down, at the top.
Like you said, if we had a service truck with a crane on it, we could cheat.
It's all dewy, sticky,
and slick. Can't really get to that one, can you? Alright guys, there's the gearbox is in. It's down in the grain tank here in a hole. So 4 bolts mounted in there. There's actually no way to even get to the thing to drain the oil out. So I mean, so I don't know, you know, I don't know how to engineer it any better. So the only thing that drives it, there's a belt that comes up from down below that drives it. He's putting the drive pulley on now. I did smoke the belt yesterday when it all locked up. Your key fell out in the beans there, John. So we got a new belt here we're going to put on also, but I'll show you here in a minute when we bolt the we call it a pop-up auger, I guess.
Yeah, grain tank loading auger.
Grain tank loading auger, but bubble-up auger, some call it too. So it'll fold up and fit on these splines here and take the grain ahead up. Alright guys, well we're still up here in the grain tank. Here's that gearbox we put in. There's an elevator that brings the clean grain up to the tank from the lower part of the combine after it gets cleaned. There's a chain in here with paddles that carries the grain up. So, and it, as it rotates, it just kind of slings the grain over in this pocket. You can kind of see the wear pattern where the grain's been flowing there. And once it piles up here, this auger grabs it, you know, and takes it and pushes the head up in the grain tank. So, I got belt hooked on something up here. Yep, I dropped some wrenches.
Do what?
I dropped some wrenches and I'm leaning the wrong way. It's got a cover.
I took one belt off, I think. But it's dangled down there. gotta take the Stelling's belt off to get that one all the way off.
Well, I really don't know where the other side of the belt goes.
It's got both sides of that bracket.
I can't fold it up and get it down through there, John.
Can you push the belt over to the side?
There we go.
Hang on. I'm gonna wrap around this piece of shit for you.
Got it? Alright guys, we got the new belt coming down out of the grain tank here. The old belt's still hanging here. We gotta get off the drive sprocket yet. It's drove off this sprocket here that's black where it's been burned on there, but in order to get it off, we gotta get this belt off. So I guess we need to start loosening these nuts up. Slip this belt off, get the old belt off, new one on, and we'll put this one back on. All right, guys, we get the old auger or the old belt all the way off. Got the new belt on up on top. John Deere does give us a diagram here how the belt goes, but it's not very well described. It's kind of use your imagination a little bit to figure out which pulley's which here, but let's see what we can figure out. All right, guys, we got this new belt put on. We got this belt we took off back on. We just got to tighten this spring tensioner back up. You got to tighten this spring up to the end of this gauge. That's how much tension you run on them. The same back here. There's a lot to run back up here. It means we took this all the way off. So we do have a ratchet wrench. It'll go pretty quick, but it is boring, time consuming. So, oh boy, now he's telling me to hang on, so we might have to take her back off. All right, guys, well, I was down below putting the belt on. John was up here, got this all buckled up, ready to go. Getting ready to put oil in the gearbox. Pulled this plug out. Supposed to have a dipstick on the end of here. Tell you how much oil's in there. Did the factory not put it in there? Or has it fallen out and it's down the bottom of that gear case somewhere? What do you do? If it's in the bottom of that gear case and we run it,
Ain't gonna last very long.
it ain't gonna last very long because it gets in those gears, it's gonna destroy it. So looks like we're gonna have to take this all apart, pull gear case apart, see if that dipstick's in there. All right, guys, we got on the phone with the service manager. That's John Deere dealer there. This is just a generic plug John Deere puts in a $1,600 gearbox. We got to get the dipstick out of our old gearbox and put in this gearbox. If we want a new dipstick, it's $3 more. So $1,600 gearbox, buy a $3 dipstick.
It probably lands on the workbench.
That's getting a little ridiculous, but at least we don't have to take the gearbox back out. We'll have to run home, get our old dipstick out of the old gearbox, and bring back up here and put in and start putting oil in. But at least we ain't got to take it back apart. All right, guys. Well, we're in this area. There's an auger in this pipe here. It's where the clean grain comes out of the combine. And here's the elevator that takes the grain up to the grain tank up there. That's where we was working at the top. So this is where the chain goes up, comes back down here with those paddles. I just take the grain up here. Some of it trickles out right here and falls down past this electronic mechanism. This is where we're capturing the moisture of the grain. Soybeans, we want around 13%. Corn, we get to it, 15% is what they call dry. So, gravity falls past the sensor. Little electric motor here, little auger. Carries it back up a little thing. Gravity flow down, and it drops it in the return side of the auger. It just goes down and back up. So, with the volume of grain going in, there is very small percentage of it that actually gets moisture, but it's enough of a percentage to get an accurate measurement. So, and then at the top of this elevator, where the grain comes off the paddle, is what we call a mass flow sensor. It can detect how many pounds or the pressure of the seed or the grain hitting that, and once it's calibrated, it knows how many pounds of grain's going in the tank. So that's how we can calibrate yield and get our yield maps and stuff. But I've got both belts tight, sitting on the gauges. This project's done. You got oil in the gearbox, waiting for the dipstick to come to figure out
exactly how much.
Exactly how much. We got 3 other sensors we want to investigate. We picked up last night and possibly put new on. All right, guys, the computer was telling me these spinners here on the back was not turning, but that spreads the shaft out. I can see in the mirror the shaft was actually being spread. So pretty telltale sign that just the sensor's bad. We're trying to get in there to figure out what's going on here. Trying to find where the sensor is. Looks like it's just got one sensor, but for some reason it's got 2 wires going to it. Don't make much sense, but all right, guys, battery died there. We're back at it. We got the sensor here. This sensor's got 3 wires and has a jam nut. None of the sensors we picked up last night look anything like that. So
We got the 3 wires, but unless they've changed it on us.
We got a 3-wire sensor here, but that does not have the jam nut. So, well, crap, Butterfinger.
Just throw it at me.
John Deere could have changed it up a little bit. This combine is 11 years old, so. We're doing some investigation. We'll get back to you. Is going to be oil come out of that or not? Wrong size.
I see that.
see how much you got sticking in there. I guess there's probably, yeah, there's no ring there on the front of your jam nut. It's going to be about the same. They've just remodified it. Is that even a jam nut? Yeah.
Kind of halfway. I just don't know if this one's gonna hit the motor or not.
I guess if it hits, it'll wear the end of it off, huh? Different size wrench, huh? Thanks, John Deere. Things are gonna tighten up in there. Sometimes when they remodify them, they don't even put the right wiring harness, and they got to sell you a jumper wire pack kit to go with it.
That's more like this other sensor I've got for the charge pressure. This one's got it.
All right, everyone, it's just going to be one of those days, I guess. We did get that gearbox in. Got that spreader sensor in. It seems to be working. We got a hydro sensor that was messing up yesterday. The dealership sent us the wrong one. We got a real height on our head sensor that was throwing some codes yesterday. Put it in. We haven't had to try it yet and see what's doing. Come to the field, fired up. I ain't went 5 feet and we're broke down again. So you can tell we've got the whole dang cutter bar full. It's just plowing beans over there. I jumped out. Oh, if you can tell, right here the cutter bar's broke already this morning. That is not going to be no fun at all. John is not going to like this phone call either, but I guess I better get him on the phone, get some more tools here, and see if we can get this thing yanked out and see what we need. Gonna be a pain in the butt to get out of there. What? I don't see nothing. I'm just breaking all the teeth off this section, prying on it. Alrighty, we've took pry bars and got it worked out here to the end. We can get a ratchet strap on it. Now we can actually pull on it with something. Oh, there she comes. Just don't stick your finger in there. She'll whack her off.
Put it all the way out, or just?
Oh, you're gonna just fix the end of it?
I don't know. Replace the whole thing or just the end?
All right, we're pulling into the John Deere dealership here now. Pick up some pieces of knives to fix that cutter bar and make a marathon trip back home and get that fixed. Just part of life, I guess. Part of farming life. Here we are at 1:30 and we're getting ready to try it again. I got a brand new shiny cutter bar all the way across there. Let's give her a try and see what it does now. Working a lot better now. Let's see if we can get this farm wrapped up and get moved to the next one here. We've probably got 5 or 6 acres left here, so. All right, guys, as we go up over top the tree line here, you can see the vast acres of forest in the area here. A few little field spot in here. Some of these are hay fields, some of these are yards. Not all this is row crops. You can see Tipsaw Lake out there in the far. As we pan around to the right here, you're going to see we're right up against Branchville Correctional Facility. It's a minimal security state prison here. Alright, let's just try a little experiment there with this new air bar we put on here. When that gearbox went out up in the grain tank yesterday evening, that elevator I was showing you was packed plumb full of beans, so I had to open that bottom door and drain all those beans out. I don't know, probably 3, 4, maybe 5 bushel beans on the ground. I don't know if you can see the pile right there. I'm gonna try to pull up there at the head and see if I can get this air system and see if it will blow beans back in the head and see if we can't get these picked up. Definitely moving the beans. I don't know if it's blowing them up in the head or not though. Blew some of them up on the head anyway, didn't it? I don't know if that's really what it's designed to do, but it's went from 5 bushels probably to, there's probably a half bushel laying there, so those will be fine. We've picked up what we can with what less labor we had, so it's not designed to do that, but you work with what you got. All right, everyone, is what when we zoom around here to the right, this ditch line that goes up and wires or forks out here goes up towards the combine, up to the right here behind the house. Watch for these in Dirt Perfect's videos next spring. We will be putting tile and dry dams in these, and you can just see how these fields get chopped up when you cannot farm at all. Once we tile and dry dam this, 98% of this will be farmed come next year. Just makes it more efficient farming. Bring more land into use. I'm paying rent on this land that I cannot use, so that's the bummer of it. So we're gonna bring this in production next year. All right, it looks like we're up and running for the evening here, or we hope we're up and running for the evening. Get 2 or 3 loads shelled out here this evening. Finish a couple farms up here in this area. So here again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 farms right here in a small clump area with 5 different owners on it. So still, it's going to be less than 100 acres with all 5 farms put together. These breakdowns are just everyday part of life. I mean, they do get expensive, but we do have them somewhat budgeted into our annual budget. So we just kind of take our 5-year average, and that's kind of what we budget for the future years. So it is all planned into the cash flow. Guys, we're going to take tomorrow off, tomorrow morning off. I'm hoping to shell a couple loads tomorrow evening. We've got the Utility Expo tomorrow. That'll be gone by the time you guys watch this video. We'll be with Dirt Perfect and a bunch of other YouTubers in Louisville, Kentucky at the Utility Expo, doing kind of a YouTube meet and greet type thing. So Friday I'll be off most of the day. We're going to be hanging out at Derby, Indiana at the Dirt Perfect's camp. Just hanging out with the YouTubers there and just sharing some stories and some laughter, and some good food, and maybe even a few drinks. So, chance of rain Saturday and Sunday. We'll see how that goes. It's kind of tough to take off and go do something when you've got crops ready to shell. So I don't know. I've already committed to these other things, so I feel obligated. I need to hold up my end there. So we'll go do that and get back to harvest. Hopefully the rain holds off, or if we get very little rain. We are plenty wet for being second to last day of September. Normally we're bone dry, go anywhere we want to, and I've already had to back out of a couple spots. We've slid off a couple hillsides already, and kind of hung on for the ride. So a little bit unusual for September, and I hope this is not setting the trend for all the fall. Hopefully we get some drier weather and come on, we can get to rolling here. Like I said, we're going to be on soybeans for about a week and a half yet, and then hopefully we get to go tackle some corn. That's a lot more excitement, a lot more fast pace, a lot more action going on. So if you guys ain't subscribed to the channel already, please do. Like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs up button down there. Got any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer them when I get caught up here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.